spy number 3, we're going to be checking out the McPherson tape, also known as UFO Abduction. This is a 1989 American sci-fi found footage horror film, directed by Dean Alioto, who also directed this film's remake in 1998, called Alien Abduction: Incident at Lake County. Made a whole 10 years before the Blair Witch Project, this could easily be considered one of the earliest, if not the very first true example of a found footage film, which just so happens to be a genre that I'm a very big fan of. Let's have a look, shall we?
But I can't. Yeah, well, she does it when I do it. She comes home, she takes a little bottle or whatever she's got.
That rum.
She goes in the back there and drinks.
Water in it before I leave.
She watches Johnny Carson.
Shorter than you, they're gray and black. And they saw us.
They saw you. Did they follow you?
Sure it wasn't some kind of animal or something, Jason?
It wasn't an animal.
Yeah, it probably was some kind of animal. I don't know.
We're so glad you could come this week.
Oh, I'm so glad you invited me up.
The plot's pretty straightforward for this one, really. A family gathers in an isolated cabin for a 5th birthday party, but some aliens have been spotted in the woods nearby and weird things start happening, but luckily everything's captured on video. At only 63 minutes, it's pretty short and sweet, this film. It's no masterpiece, it can be pretty dull in parts, but it's very charming and there are some genuinely effective shots. Generally, it's just quite innovative for the genre, which can easily be respected.
Oh my God, dude. This is awesome. Oh.
This is fucking awesome.
This is one of those jokes.
Shut up! Shut up!
He's not kidding. There's a spaceship out there or something. We saw some Martian or shit or something. There was 3 little guys that came out.
The acting is nothing amazing here. It's pretty mediocre, but honestly, for this sort of film, it kind of works well. It does sort of bring out the more naturalistic side. Now, it's not Oscar worthy, and there are a few naff lines here and there that do sort of draw you out of it, but I would say that for the most part, I found it all relatively believable. The effects are pretty standard here, really, but they're enhanced by the low quality of the footage. Now, a lot of aspects of this film can be attributed to the way that it's been made. It's quite a simple film, one location, small handful of actors, but with the low quality of the tape that it's shot on, it creates this tense, claustrophobic atmosphere, especially with all the frantic moving around and such. And it all just sort of works well as a whole, really, and you're constantly questioning what those fuzzy little pixels in the background window are. Yeah, all in all, I think as a piece, as everything coming together, it works. Now, this film is neither gory nor is it sleazy, but you know what? I'll take a change. About time we've discussed something a little bit different, really.
It's all right.
They've gone for help. I know they have. They got away. The truck's broken. They can't. It won't run, and they ran for help.
Jimmy, they got away.
They'll be back.
Jimmy.
Spend our whole lives waiting. Wait for a boy to call, you know. Wait for one to ask her, marry him, and then you wait for the husband to come home.
One of the most interesting aspects about this film is its history. So right off the bat, this film was set for distribution but was lost in a fire at the distribution centre, so the director took it upon himself to self-distribute, selling VHS copies off of his website, and you've got to think as well, this is early 90s that this website was set up, so it wasn't that common to be buying stuff online. Now, this gave the film a sort of cult standing, especially because people with these tapes would copy them, but they'd miss out the intro title and the ending credits, so it was just the footage. Now, this led to people believing the footage to be real UFO proof and alien proof. You got to think, back in the early 90s, found footage wasn't a common thing like it is today, so it wasn't in people's heads that this home movie looking thing could be faked. Now, these copies with the titles cut off were distributed with the word McPherson on the tape, and this led to the alternate title, the McPherson tape, becoming probably the most common name for this film, because there's nobody actually called McPherson in the whole film, but somebody came up with it, slapped it on, and it just became probably one of the most common ways to identify this film. And then later, this copied version that everyone believed to be real was even featured on an episode of the 90s TV show Encounters, which is sort of like Unsolved Mysteries, I think, from what I gather, where it presents the footage of UFO and alien encounters, and it doesn't necessarily debunk, but it just presents it with it has talking heads, people believing in it, people not, and it leaves the question up to you, is this real or not? But it was featured on there, which is crazy. Then this film was sort of lost. It was just a VHS anomaly for a while, until Bleeding Skull picked it up in 2019 and remastered it and gave it a theatrical release. Then in 2020, partnered with AGFA, they put out this Blu-ray, and here we are today.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a good watch.
Yeah. It got you a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Bit. And then just aliens.
Yeah, I was just about sold. I did genuinely think it were real. Up until the point that the end credits rolled and it does tell you the names of the aliens.
I liked it. It was good. It was one of them things that at the time it felt like it's nothing you've not seen before, but then you consider that this stuff came out way before found footage stuff got popular. Way before X-Files, a couple of years before X-Files, so it predates that. So it's even pre sort of like the big
Paranormal Activity and that
sort of thing,
stuff,
like alien 90s cultural, like linked by the alien sort of phenomena, weren't it? And X-Files and UFOs and stuff. So yeah, say we're a precursor to that. It actually, if you'd watched it at the time, and I know it got you, but if you watched it at the time, I reckon it'd have been like up there with like the alien autopsy videos and stuff, like fuck, this could actually be real and stuff. But really cool, just like nice little throwback. Like I say, it didn't feel fresh, but it was like an original in its sense, so it gets like points for that. And I just thought it was a fun little watch. Short, sweet. Yeah, it's fun. Enjoyed it.
If you keep a look at as well, you do actually spot a few things in the background.
The ending's a nice little, like it does.
Yeah.
The tension does feel a little bit like, I'd say comical at times throughout, but then that last 15-20 minutes when you've got that,
when
then the reveal
certain
and
family members are getting drawn towards the front door.
It definitely builds.
Sort of when they're banging on, and the grandma's a bit weird in it as well.
That's nothing to do with aliens. She's just
weird.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
No worries. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
So for the release, as I said, the picture quality is low, but honestly I wouldn't have it any other way. If they'd have cleaned this up any more, it might have ruined the whole effect of the film. It's meant to look low quality, and even though it does, it still looks pretty decent because it fits with the film. And honestly, the sound has cleaned up really well. There's a lot of parts where characters are talking over each other, but you can kind of understand everybody. It's not muffled or anything like that. It sounds pretty decent. There's no annoying hiss or anything like that in it. Pretty good stuff, nice remaster. And on the disc, we get the film. We get a director's cut of the film with a whole 5 seconds of extra footage. We get a commentary track. We get an introduction that was played at the original 1989 theatrical release, which I think there was only a few before it just became weird VHS anomaly. There is also a Q&A at the 2019 theatrical release with Bleeding Skull and the director. And finally, probably the best feature, I'm really glad they included this, we get the Encounters TV segment for this film. Absolutely love that they've included this, and obviously I've watched it. It's very entertaining. People were adamant that this film was real proof of aliens.
Moments later, the UFO's occupants emerge.
Holy I felt that the tape might be real because it fit in very well with so many UFO alien incidences that I know of.
Okay, case time. First off, this is one of 2 annoying Blu-rays from this collection I have, because it doesn't have a slipcover. But, oh well. I'm not going to re-buy it, am I, for another sleeve? Even though I did consider it, I haven't. The case itself is great though. All the information is really well written and has some of the film's history included too, which is nice. This is one of the first AGFA films I bought, and it was because of the write-up on the back that I got it. I got it for a movie night as well, and it went down a treat, must say, went down really well. I also like this little bit on the back as well, where it asks for empathy because of the quality of the film. Nice little touch, and it does set people up, just so that they know that it's not going to be the crispest of films. We get a reversible cover with the film's real name on the back, which looks really good. And honestly, I just really like the artwork on this one. Yeah, really decent packaging. Overall then, while not perfect by any means, it's still charming and well put together for what it is. Historically as well, it's kind of important. Not just for the found footage genre and horror, but also just the way that alien abduction videos look in other media. A lot of it's taken from the way this is made. And honestly, I'd say it's well worth checking out. It's an hour long and there's some genuinely effective moments in it. Well worth a look, definitely. And you know what? This release is fantastic. It looks great and bad just as it should. It sounds really good, and there's a ton of special features that just make a really nice package. Really good stuff. So yeah, really impressed with this one this week. Really good one. Next episode though, might not be the case. Already in this series we're having a return from a certain director and his writer slash actor friend. Oh dear, let's hope it's better than the last efforts, because next episode we're going to be checking out Jungle Trap.